Oh, you did? Jumden de Jamba da Jamba Yandava Zobe Sanje Revanda Jamso Demba Devara Jigden Jamba Jevon Deve Galo Jorwa Lana Meba Lada Menam Jetumba Sanje Jum Pejawa Jaja Doba La Janze Lo Jado Jazo Je Odamba Jumden Den Dejen Danjumba Yandaba Zobe Sanje Riva Dan Jazo Demba Devara Jeva Jiden Jemba Jevo Kalu Jurva Lana Meva Lada Minam Je Domba Sanje Chumden De Pejava Jaja Duba Laja Chudu Jazu Cheo Jumba Jumden De Deje Shava Da Jumba Yandava Zobe Sanje Reba Da Jazu Shikwa Jiden Jemba Jebo Deve Galo Jurva Lana Meba Lada Menam Je Tumba Sanje Chumden De Pejawa Jaja Chaze Lo Chedo Jaso Je Hoi Lama Da Gombo Jezen Jambe Chaze Lo Kange Lo Tenye Tende Nyenda Nanda Rabse Chenye Dengwe Che Se Nye Doga Le Baba Kanda Sebe Chera Mare Mendo Gezeve Chozo Gwela Poje Daze Yela Choje Yanden Song Chodara Eje Cho Mo Nye Lo Le Ye Cha Do Cheze Chen Maria Mense Do Nye Nye Go Je Nye Chenze Rade Nam Tene Da Je Sa Je Da Se Yen Den Den Zo Ja Se Do Ve Go Cho Da Jo Da Cho Nye Gen De Da Lu Me Ze Jambe Yalande Oma Arabazana de 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 Oma Arabazana Omara bazana do 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 Omara bazana Omara bazana do 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 Omara bazana Omara bazana di 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 De zenden je jera veze je dal demo memba rabze ve kadan denje shonlo doba ye zhe bobe na cedo se Joje medo dama rera leje nyende jemba de sanje shindo mede bewa ye Jogwen namda jenla jebara shoy Damba ge namanje chugu kala genze dende ne Chedara tsambe dujan zemala Sabje jeje chaba aldo soy Mendala ganaya daya me ay sanje chedan zoje jonama ala chanju bado dane jazo je Dagi cheche gebe zonama je dala benje zan Jobara choy sanje chedan zoje jonama ala chanju bado dane jazo je Dagi jeje jebe zonama je dola penje san Dobara shoy sanje jodan zoje jonama ala chanju bado dane jazo che Dagi jeje jebe zonama je dola penje san Dobara Sho. Good morning. So how was your week? I think there's some homework I vaguely remember. So how did that assignment go? Were you able to do anything or you completely forgot about it?
So I guess I'm finding that with mindfulness that I've developed more than ever than I used to anyway. Some moments of grace where some sort of excitement or anger or whatever starts to arise, and I just manage to find a calm place, and it just passes. And so it requires mindfulness and application, but it's no longer, in many cases, quite such a struggle. I find that things that used to make me very irritated just don't seem to as much anymore.
Wow.
Sometimes, not always.
Okay.
Things that really
Okay. That's a huge progress, isn't it? There were times where everything tend to irritate us, and now you realize or you find that that's not the case. So that's a huge, I would say, huge progress. Congratulations.
when it happens, it's always
How about the rest of you? Have you tried anything?
I found that mindfulness disappears very quickly as soon as I come out of meditation or practice. But then if I'm irritated by someone, I'm irritated, but then I remember to be, but sometimes I'm just watching myself be angry or whatever, but then eventually it just sort of, mindfulness does work. But it's hard because it's so
Yes.
easy.
Yes. Yeah, it's not easy. It's not easy because we are, for life after life, we have been used to that. Only this time we realized, oh, that's not a good thing. But who knows, in countless lifetimes, we may kind of thought that it's good. It's a good thing. So we have a huge group here. So they are here to see the place, but they didn't arrive on time, so they have no choice but to attend the class. That's the punishment they get. Anyway, to those who are coming here for the first time, so last week, or is it last week, the assignment is to apply the Shantideva's words. Because we are discussing the chapter of patience. So we were saying that there are always ample times to practice patience. But most of the time, we don't even remember. We don't even realize. The moment something happens, we just burst into anger. So last week, we went through various methods. And one of them is to really reflect on the kindness of others, how kind others have been. So the assignment was that when you go home, try to apply, try to think through, try to remember what Shantideva said about anger, and then try to apply the applications, especially at your home. There are so many things that can irritate us. Your husband, your wife, your partner, and then nowadays it's summer holiday, kids are all at home, and you really get angry. So that's the time to apply all this. Sometimes, some practices, we don't get that many opportunity. But in the case of patience, not losing our cool, there is always ample of opportunities. Whether you are at home or you are at workplace. So we need to do something about it. I believe that everybody kind of realizes that anger is not a good thing, not a positive emotion. It's a destructive emotion that has so many negative consequences. We all know that. But in the past, we haven't done anything about it. And mostly we don't really know how to do it. So now that Shantideva showed us how to do, what to think, especially when you have this kind of intense, grudge or hatred against somebody who has caused you harm in the past or whom you really dislike. So according to Shantideva, those are the best, those are your, the precious ones in terms of developing patience, developing tolerance. Our friends, our best friends, our loved ones cannot provide that opportunity. Whereas our enemies, especially those arch enemies, they can offer us this opportunity. So that's what we are asking about their experience. How did they apply? And how did you find? Anyone who wants to share? No? Yeah, it's not easy. In the past, these 2 weeks, I found myself times where I was irritated. But I realized that that was not a good thing. Especially I am sitting here and facing you and saying all this. And just recently I listened to His Eminence Sangdo Rinpoche's talk. And Rinpoche talked about this, related this story about Gandhiji. So everybody knows who Gandhiji is, yeah? Mahatma Gandhi. So in a village where Gandhi lives, so this parent, this mother actually, was having difficulty preventing her child from eating sweets. Obviously, the sweet is not good for that child's health. But no matter how many times she tried to advise her to stay away or refrain from consuming sweets, but he doesn't listen. So she thought that, okay, let me bring the son to see Gandhiji and then request him to give the advice. She felt that he would listen if Gandhiji were to give that advice. So what happened was, so she brought the son to see Gandhiji, and then made the request. So Gandhiji said, okay, you come after 1 week. Didn't give any advice. He said, come back after 1 week. So she went back to see Gandhiji after 1 week, and then Gandhiji told the boy to stay away from sweets. So the mother said that, is that all? If that is all you are going to say, why didn't you say in the first week when I first came to see you? So Gandhiji said, at that time, I myself is consuming sweets. So I cannot advise this son not to consume sweets because I am doing it. So when I heard that, wow, I shouldn't be speaking about all this because I'm not a saint. I get angry all the time. So that's why I always say that I'm very reluctant and hesitant to say that you have to practice this and this, because I know that I don't have that quality. I don't have the right to say. But then many people said, oh, it is very helpful. You must continue saying. So I close one eye and then just say it anyway. But the past week, when I had this, I thought, okay, we're supposed to practice. So what I did was, in the morning, made special kind of determination, set my mind that today, wherever I go, whoever I meet, I will never let myself under the influence of anger. That helps. That helps. So it is important to do that kind of set that kind of strong determination in the morning. And as the day progresses, as and when you remember, try to reinforce that determination. Then I think it helps. So maybe the first day may not really work as you hoped. But if we are persistent, if we continue with that kind of setting up that motivation, I think there will be time where you will be able to at least see or realize that, oh, now anger is arising. That guy is really, making me irritated. Most of the times we don't see that. There is no gap between the stimuli and our reaction. We encounter something, we are already flared up. We are already angry. Not just angry, we would have done something. Especially if it's your kid. There. You have already hit the kid. And then later you regret. But if you are able to set that motivation, there will come a time where there is actually an ample gap, ample time. So when you are able to create that space, that time, then you have the choice whether to respond in a harsh way, in an angry way, or otherwise. So you are in control. Then, at the moment, it is reaction, not a response. So when you are able to create that space, you can respond however you want to be. So it's not easy. And Ken and you both are saying that most of the time we forget mindfulness it kind of leave us. So that's why it's always good to remind ourselves, reinforce ourselves. Remember, I told you that there was somebody from the Tibetan group who comes to the class, and one time when he was at my place, alarm goes, and occasionally the alarm goes. So I asked her, what is this? So he said, this is to remind him to reinforce this good, the motivation or whatever. So it's very good. Now we carry all kinds of phones, iPhone with so many features. Olden days, even if you want to, you cannot do that. Yes, you have alarm clock, but you cannot walk around with the alarm clock, isn't it? Like huge one. But now you just carry this small mobile phone. And mobile phone, I think nobody leaves behind. If you forget your mobile phone, then wow, big thing. It's always with us, inseparable, has become inseparable. So why not use that? Set an alarm. Or I used to say that, when I will call, anybody messages you or anybody calls you, treat that as a reminder. Let's say when there's a message tone, you will hear that. Oh, use that, okay. Reinforce whatever motivation you have set in the morning. If any call comes before answering, generate. And if that call happens to be a very irritating call, but because you have reinforced that, it will be different. You won't be so angry because you have already reinforced this what you call, determination that I will not get myself under the control of anger. So because of that, you will be more mindful. That's, I think, one way to go about. So anyway, coming back to our topic, or back to the text, this is the line. So Shantideva first talks about how beneficial, how precious our enemies are, because we perceive our enemy as the worst thing happening to us. Someone that we must hate, someone that we must get even with, someone that we must show our anger, someone that we must retaliate. But Shantideva was saying that that's not the case. Enemy is the only person who provides us the opportunity to achieve enlightenment. If there were no enemies, if there were no one who makes us, who causes us irritation, then there's no opportunity to become enlightened. I'm going to ask this to Tibetan people. Why is that the case? Shantideva says that if there are no one to cause you harm, make you angry, so there's no way you can become enlightened. No way you can become Buddha. So this they already know. Why? What do you think? I'm putting you on the spot, is it? Okay, maybe young boys. Why do you think? Why do? Okay, that's one way to look at. Because enemy causes us suffering. So why do you need suffering in life in order to become Buddha?
Because if you don't suffer in life, you will not know the hardships that other people have to face in other life. Because when you're enlightened, that means that you have gone through all the circumstances of life and you understand everything are trying to seek the truth, and once you are enlightened, that means that you have basically have experienced everything, and that includes you have experienced suffering, and that is one of the ways of enlightenment.
Okay, thank you. That's one reason you can say that. Because when you undergo suffering, you become more empathetic. Remember, like cancer patients, when you become the patient, let's say when you suffer something, and then when you hear that somebody has suffered, you're what you call, you are much softer to that person because you understand. You have already gone through that pain, and you can understand what the person is going through. So that's one benefit of going through suffering. You can relate others' pain. Then it can help us to generate compassion towards others. That's one. But the answer that I'm looking for, I still haven't gotten it yet.
They give us opportunity to practice our patience and tolerance.
Exactly. Because in order to become Buddhahood, we have to perfect all the 6 perfections. So one of the 6 perfections is perfection of patience or tolerance. So who would offer us that opportunity other than the person who causes us anger, the person who causes us harm? So in that case, it's like our enemy or those who causes our harm is like indispensable in our journey to Buddhahood. So Shantideva talked about that in particular, and then generally Shantideva was talking about how important others are in our life. How important others are in our life. So it says the Buddha's qualities are gained from sentient beings and the conquerors alike. What kind of practice is it then that honors only Buddhas but not beings? Normally we pay so much reverence and homage to Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, holy beings, but we ignore sentient beings. Shantideva was saying that if you are going to honor or pay respects to Buddhas, then you should do the same. Because through both, we achieve Buddhahood. Through our, why we honor Buddha, why we pay reverence and homage to Buddha is that doing that, we will become Buddha. It creates merits that will bring us to Buddhahood. So likewise, if you are kind to sentient beings, that will also result in our achieving enlightenment. So in that sense, in terms of fulfilling our ultimate goal, it is same. So why not accord the same respect, same reverence? That's what it's saying. So let's just think for a moment. Imagine or just remember your what you call your highest accomplishment. Any accomplishment that you are very proud of or you are very happy about. Bring that accomplishment, achievement to your mind. If it helps to close your mind, you can close your mind. Just bring that to your mind. And now see, how did you get there? How did you achieve that accomplishment? How many people have played a role in that? we will find that so many people have played a role in our achievement. Even though sometimes we feel that whatever that achievement is like, I did it. I alone achieved that. But when you really think closely, so many people are responsible. Without these people, there's no way we could have achieved that. At the moment, let's say whatever job you are in, what enabled you to achieve the job? There are so many things, so many factors. Even your degree, whatever degree you have, how many people played a role? Let's say if you have a master's degree or a nursing degree, that is actually built from kindergarten onwards. In your kindergarten school, your teachers, other people who worked at the kindergarten, at the school, all these played a role. We don't remember them. We don't realize them. So it is good to, not every day, if you, of course it's best if you can, but once in a while if you kind of pause and ponder on these things, then you will be able to, we will be able to generate more appreciation for others. We won't be very quick in blaming others or ignoring others. So if we have that kind of appreciation, we are less likely to get angry at other people. We are less likely to use harsh words. Let's say somebody whom you really feel indebted to. Will we still show anger to that person? We wouldn't. We would really try our best to treat that other person as nice as possible, because we feel that they are so kind to us. We feel that we are indebted in their kindness. So we should be developing same kind of sense of appreciation to each and every sentient beings. Only then we will be able to treat everybody equally, and that's one way to reduce our anger towards others. Anyway, let's just move on to this. So now, Sambe yunden rangi min debu le yin te songbar simjen namlang yunden yu tejir teda nyamba yin. So in the earlier stanza, we said that we have to accord the same respect to Buddha as well as to sentient beings. So now the argument is that there is a reason why we have to accord reverence to Buddhas, because they are enlightened beings. They have no trace of any defilements or negativities, whereas sentient beings are still unenlightened. They are filled with negativities. So we shouldn't. It is not fair to accord the same reverence So in that sense, it says, not in the qualities of their minds, but in the fruits they give are they alike. In beings, too, such excellence resides, and therefore beings and Buddhas are the same. You see a chicken there. It's supposed to be what do you call golden egg laying hen. Let's say if you have a chicken that lays golden eggs, no matter how ugly that looks, no matter how small it looks, you would really treasure it. You will really view it as so precious. The reason is because it produces golden eggs, isn't it? So here, that's why Shantideva was saying that. Even though in terms of qualities, of course, Buddha's, what do you call, no one can compete or rival Buddha's qualities. There's no match. But we are not talking about, not in the qualities of their minds. We are not talking about what qualities they possess, but in the fruits they produce. If we treasure sentient beings, it also produces Buddhahood. If we pay homage to Buddha, if we accord reverence to Buddha, it also results in enlightenment. In beings too, such excellence resides. So even though Buddha's all the qualities are kind of, what is the word? Is already kind of reached the fruition. So you can see the actual result there. But in sentient beings, it has all that potential there. The sentient beings have the seeds. So because of that, it's saying that we should treat them alike. In beings too, such excellence resides. So there this potential resides. And therefore beings and Buddhas are the same. So we cannot argue that, oh, they don't have the same quality as Buddhas, thereby we don't have to treat sentient beings nicely or respect, that we don't have to accord the same respect. Shantideva was saying that's not the case. Yes, in terms of quality it's different, but in terms of what fruit it can produce, what results we can achieve from doing so is the same. So therefore, we should accord the same reverence and respect. So now talking about individual qualities. Chamsim tenla choba kang, tene simjen chawani. Sanje tebe sonam kang, tenya sanje chawani. Sanje chutub chayoba, tena teda nyambardoes. So now it's saying that, going into detail about why they are same in terms of the result or the qualities. In sentient beings also, there is quality there. Offerings made to those with loving minds reveal the eminence of living beings. Merit that accrues from faith in Buddha shows in turn the Buddha's eminence. So both sentient beings and Buddha have their own merits, their own qualities, So let's say if offering made to those with loving minds. So it is said that if you made offerings to those who meditate loving compassion, it is said to be very meritorious. We call bodhisattvas. When you make offerings to bodhisattvas, it's very, very meritorious. Even Buddha said that it is more meritorious to make offerings to bodhisattva than Buddha, because bodhisattvas like the sons of Buddha, so they are now becoming Buddha. So why that, let's say, somebody who has bodhicitta or loving kindness, those who possess that quality, they are said to be, of course, holy beings. And when you make offerings to them, it is said to be very meritorious. The reason why it becomes very meritorious is simply because they have this loving kindness, compassion. And where does this compassion and loving kindness come from? Through sentient beings. Without sentient beings, you cannot develop, you cannot generate loving kindness. You cannot generate compassion. Because compassion is that wish to free all sentient beings, wishing all sentient beings to be free from suffering. Whereas loving compassion, loving kindness is wishing all sentient beings to be happy and to have all the causes of happiness. So all this is in relation to sentient beings. If you take out sentient beings from that equation, there is no loving compassion, kindness, there is no compassion. So in that sense, he's saying that sentient beings are equal to Buddha, because merit that accrues from faith in Buddha, both accrue merits. When you make offerings when you generate faith in Buddha or make offerings, you also cultivate merit. And then when you respect or generate compassion, generate loving kindness to sentient beings, you also accrue merits. Therefore, they are asserted to be equal in the share they have in establishing Buddha qualities. So both serves as causes to achieve enlightenment. So both establishes in us the causes and conditions to achieve Buddha qualities. So therefore, we cannot argue and thereby ignore sentient beings and then revere Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. The picture, this one, what do you see in the picture? Okay, make a guess what I'm trying to depict from this picture. Based on this, I may be completely off the target. Yeah, let's see. So my point here is that you see there's a flock of birds. They are flying so high up there. How do they fly? What do they depend on?
Wings.
Their wings. And can they fly with one wing? They cannot. They need both wings. So if you ignore one wing, and if you only take care of the right wing, if you let this, I don't know, become useless, you cannot fly. So likewise, yes, on the one hand, we revere Buddha. On the other hand, we also have to treat sentient beings differently. We have to change our view. We have been treating others as, it's like they have nothing to do with me. It's like whatever they are going through is none of my business. It's like you have nothing with sentient beings. So that's not the case. You have everything to do with others. So that's what I'm trying to convey here. Yunden jazo tayebe sanje namdang game nyams. Yunden chok chikbu yi yunden she zam gashi la nanang tela chö döndu kamsum pyang chungmar jurus. Although not one of them is equal to the Buddhas who are oceans of perfection, even if the 3 rams were offered, it would be insufficient in paying veneration to those few beings in whom a mere share of good qualities of the unique assemblage of excellent appears. So this is kind of contrasting the qualities of Buddhas with sentient beings. So even those who are what we call Changsim Gyuntawa, that means you are now at the edge of sentient beings. Let's say there's a border here. So you are now at the border. So if you pass that border, you become enlightened. But you are still at that border. So that border itself is like you are already on the 10th bhumi. So even that, the Bodhisattva on the 10th bhumi, if you compare the qualities of theirs with Buddha's, there's no match. In every way, there's no match. So even their qualities becomes like the, what is that background? Firefly. So it's like, comparison is like firefly to sun. So fireflies, when in the dark, by itself, it is so bright, isn't it? It's like it's very illuminating, it's a lot of light. But the moment the sun comes out, it diminishes. It cannot shine. So it's like this. In terms of individual qualities, Buddha is no match. Buddha's qualities, even just the one quality. Where was that? Some time ago I was reading sutra, I think during one of the puja requests. It's like unbelievable that there are so many, what you call the concentrations, we call Tinginzen. It's like it's like if you just name something, it's like there is a concentration related to that. Fire concentration, water concentration, rock concentration. If you were to list all that concentration, just the concentration in terms of a Buddha's quality, how many concentrations Buddha has achieved, if you were to write it down, I think it will be endless. Even if you are able to list everything, it turns out to be such a huge volume. Let alone if you bring all the qualities. If I were Buddha, if I teach, if I say one word, you all will understand in your own language. And whatever doubt or caution you have, you are not asking, you are just having some doubt there. Buddha would have answered all. So it's like unimaginable. So sometimes we wonder, is that really possible? But for me, when I kind of see a glimpse of Sangdong Rinpoche's quality, I think you all know Sangdong Rinpoche, then it's like, oh, it is possible. Because those who know Sangdong Rinpoche, I think it's like, can Buddha be, more than that? It's like whatever you ask, he has the answer. And he speaks Sanskrit, Hindi, I don't know what not. So if it's of course, from our perspective, Sangdong Rinpoche is ordinary, not ordinary in not that sense. It's like sentient beings, not Buddha. But it's somebody, some sentient being who can have that kind of mind, that kind of quality. Then when you talk about Buddha, who is up there, you can understand, oh, that is possible. If somebody who is supposed to be here can have that kind of quality, then somebody who is up there can have such qualities. So that's, I find that very helpful to think that way. Oh, that's possible now. We talk about some enlightened being who has all that quality. So it's like, okay, that's possible because we see that at least in a little bit here, and then we are awed by that quality. So it is possible if you are clear of this, all the what do you call it, the obstacles, obscurations. To those few beings so is that it would be insufficient in paying veneration to those few beings in whom a mere share of. So this is to contrast how Buddha's qualities are what do you call, great, in a sense that the analogy is that if somebody is to possess even a part of Buddha's quality, and if you venerate that person, to those beings in whom a mere share of good qualities of the unique assemblage of excellence would be insufficient in paying and veneration. So even if you make offering, even if 3 rams were offered, let's say 3 rams, filled with, if you cannot imagine 3, it's okay, our world, filled with offerings, and if you make that offering to such person, is that it would be insufficient. It is not enough to venerate. So this shows that Buddha's quality is like unimaginable. There's no measurement. It is so great. Sanje chocho kewe she simjen namla yobe na desam thage chatun ne simjen choja rigbar jururus. So despite all that difference, the Buddha's qualities are so great, whereas sentient beings' qualities are not really a match at all. But despite that difference, it says that thus, since sentient beings have a share in giving rise to the Supreme Buddha qualities. When you make offerings and veneration to Buddha, you cultivate or you produce a seed to become Buddha. Eventually that will lead us to the Buddhahood. Likewise, if you also show the same respect and concern to sentient beings, that will result in the same way. So therefore, surely it is correct to venerate them, as they are similar in merely in this respect. So Shantideva's whole point here is not about that sentient beings and Buddhas have same qualities. Not saying that, but the result are same. If you do the same, if you provide the same treatment, both to Buddha and sentient beings, then the result will be same. So in that sense, we cannot discriminate, as they are similar in merely in this respect. So I am thinking that, okay, it's already 11 now. So we will stop for a break. Oh, where is it? Oh, here we go.
You need some water, some cold? I'm okay. Thank you. Oh, yes.
Okay. So Shantideva provides, I think, two main reasons here. One reason why we have to venerate sentient beings. I don't know whether it's the right time or not. Is not to get angry. Instead, we should treat other sentient beings better. The reason why we should treat other better, Shantideva provides two main reasons. One is that it's the source of our enlightenment. So, as Buddha is source of our enlightenment, sentient beings are source of enlightenment. So that's one reason, and this is the summary of all that. Thus, since sentient beings have a share in giving rise to the Supreme Buddha qualities, surely it is correct to venerate them as they are similar in merely this respect. So now, Shantideva is now providing another reason, additional reason, why we must treat sentient beings well. Is the reason here is, where is the Tibetan one? Shenyang yome nyen gyurjing, pemba pangmen zenamla, simjin guja madobar, shengan shigi lenlun gyurus. So now the second reason is why we have to treat sentient beings well is that because if we do that, Buddha will be pleased. So we do things, we make offerings, we offer prostrations, all this to please Buddha. Isn't it? Yeah, to make Buddha happy, even though, there's no such thing as, whether the Buddha pleases or not. But that's the whole purpose. So if our intention is really about pleasing Buddha, then he's saying that we have to cherish sentient beings, because that's all Buddha is concerned about. That's all Buddha cared about. So let's say if you want to give a gift to somebody, you wouldn't just go and pick up something, isn't it? You will ask around, what does that person like, what he or she doesn't have, what is his looking for. Normally we do that. I don't know. That should be the way, isn't it? You should give somebody a gift that person likes, isn't it? You wouldn't buy something that knowingly that person hates it. Then your friendship will be over after you exchange that gift. So in our conventional things, like it's as simple as buying a gift. We would buy a gift that we know will make the other person happy, or it will please the other person. So likewise here, if our goal is to please Buddha, then we should engage in an act or an action that can make Buddha please. Isn't it? That's what Shantideva's whole point is. Furthermore, what way is there to repay Buddhas who grant immeasurable benefit and who befriend the world without pretension, other than by pleasing sentient beings? So here first lists what Buddhas have done for us. We didn't ask Buddha to help us. Buddha voluntarily took upon himself to help us. So in his past countless lives, Buddha has sacrificed his own happiness and engaged in all kinds of activities, actions, so that he can become Buddha and thereby help us. So all the activities that Buddha have done in the past is merely to benefit us. So that's what I'm saying. Who grant immeasurable benefit and who befriend the world without pretension. In Buddha's eyes, everybody is same. There is no such thing as, oh, these are my friends, these are strangers, these are my enemies. There's no such thing. In Buddha's eyes, everybody is equal, is same. So one time that Buddha's, cousin, who was always competing with Buddha from young, and one time that cousin fell sick because the portion, he thinks that, oh, I am so great, even though you are supposed to take maybe 3 pills. He thought that I am not ordinary person. I can take more than that, and then he took more and he fell sick, kind of a life-threatening. So Buddha went over there, and what Buddha did was only use what we call the tendop, is to recite the power of power of word. It's basically saying that if my view of this who is always harming Buddha is like Buddha's enemy. Well, of course, Buddha doesn't view it as enemy. If my view of this person and my own son are equal, are same, no difference, then by that power, by the truth of that power, may this person be healed and instantly healed. It's we call tentop, means the reciting the power. Like, if I am true in practicing this, may you be like this. And it happens. So this shows that Buddha, in Buddha's eyes, there's this we call Dulhejin, Devadatta, is it in English? Devadatta or his son Rahula, no difference, same. As much love Buddha has for Rahula, his son, he has the same amount of love. There is no difference, no iota of difference. So that's how Buddha has always been. And if you read the Buddha's stories, have really persevered in so many hardships, just because, just for the sake of helping us. There's no other purpose, no other agenda. When we do things for others, there's always something, isn't it? First we will ask, what's in for me? That's a common. But in Buddha's case, there's no such thing. So that's what he was talking about. So Buddha has been very kind to us. He dedicated his whole countless lives for us. So it is right that we repay Buddha's kindness. So there can be many ways, but it says that the best one is to take care of sentient beings, to treat sentient beings well, to view them as precious, to accord the same reverence like the way we do to Buddha. So it's that is the best. That's best way to repay Buddha. And also, other point is, so we call ourselves followers of Buddha. Do you call yourself followers of Buddha? We call ourselves, isn't it? We follow Buddha. Whatever Buddha do, we do. That's the meaning, isn't it? Follower. But are we really following Buddha? This is the point here. Buddha treats other sentient beings so, what do you call, precious. So if we call ourselves a follower of Buddha, then we should really try to do that. We should really copy Buddha's action. Shenyang yome nyen gyurjing pempa pangmen zenamla simjen guja madoba shengan shiki lenlun gyurus. So now when we go out in the world, not sitting here listening to the talk, today when you leave the class, read this, recite this. What way is there to repay Buddha who grants immeasurable benefit other than by pleasing sentient beings? So on your way back, when somebody cuts into your lane, you recite this. Okay, please go ahead. Buddha would do that. So since I am a follower of Buddha, I will also do the same. That's how to apply, isn't it? You say, that's so good, this really makes sense. And then when somebody cuts in, that rascal. And same at workplace. When you go back to work, there will be, what do you call? What is the word now I'm looking for? You will not be short of people who can irritate you. And when this happens, when you encounter any irritating person, recite this. So actually it's good to write this down and carry with you. Every now and then, read out. And then when a person says nasty things at you, you just fish out that piece of letter and read it fervently, and they will think that, what's going on? I think that will really serve the purpose. instead of getting angry and retorting back, you just fish out that note and read. Let the other person think that you are crazy or insane. But it doesn't matter. As long as it helps you to cool, calm. That's the whole point, isn't it? So it is good to, pick. You cannot bring the whole book at work, isn't it? And you cannot just pick those which you really kind of that resonates with you. And then just copy it down, and then you just bring it at work. And some people stick it there. And sometimes what happens is you stick so many things that you forget. You don't remember it. So focus on just few important things, and then just be with it with you. I think that's a good way to tackle anger and frustration. But don't be, that thing is glaring at you and you are there so angry. So when we decide that, okay, the best way to repay the kindness of Buddha is to treat the sentient beings nicely, to please the sentient beings. After making that decision, and then when you enter the real world, you will find that it is not so easy. Despite what the benevolent is, that altruistic mind. But people are there, you feel that they are really doesn't deserve that kind of thing. So this is how we're saying, this is what Shantideva was saying that. Kanjir kudong narme jugba las tela penda leno gyurbe na tewende da nojin chena yang tamje sangu shidu chebar chas. Therefore, since benefiting these beings will repay those who give their bodies and enter the deepest hell for their sake, I shall behave impeccably in all that I do, even if they cause me a great deal of harm. So it's not so easy, despite this kind of motivation, but you will encounter unruly people. So when such thing happens, it says that you still, because that's the best way, that's the way to repay. So here it says, therefore, since benefiting this being, those who give their bodies and enter the deepest hell for their sake. So Buddha, we say that, not just Buddha, when the Bodhisattvas, in Lama Choba there's one stanza, Semjen re re che yang narmebe, mena gyaba gyazo negwe, nyingji mi gyu, changju chozonbe, zunju parjin zobar shinju los. So Bodhisattvas, when it comes to persevering the hardship in relation to achieving enlightenment, their attitude is that even if I have to remain in hell realm just to help one sentient being for eons, it's like, I will remain. So they have that kind of attitude, that kind of perseverance. That kind of perseverance. And not just saying that they have done so. Do you know what this is?
Is that the Buddha offering his blood to the tiger?
Tigress. Can also pay you penny, Tamuluji. Oh. Okay, good. I have never been there. Tirve. Tinde jorve. Oh. So they have been to this place where it is said that during one of the Buddha's lifetime, past lifetime, Buddha, what do you call, fed a tigress. The story goes like this. One time when Buddha was born as a son of this particular king, so there are three brothers. So one day, the king and the entourage went for a walk in the jungle. And the three sons, they wandered into there, and the elder two sons, the princess, is it? Princess, prince, and two princess. How do you say princess? Princess, and then princess. Princess. Okay, two princes. The elder one, the elder two. They were into all this archery and war and all these things. So the moment they arrived in the jungle, so they all went to hunt. So as the three of them went into the jungle, then they came across this the tigress. The tigress has given birth to two cubs, and it was so weak. And because of the fear that the predators may come to harm the cubs, so mother didn't dare to go out, but is almost dying from hunger, from starvation, and didn't even have the energy even to look at them, even couldn't open eyes, and it was like almost like going to eat her own cubs. So when the three princess saw this, so the young one, which was Buddha in the past life, asked, so what can help? What do they eat? What can really save this tigress? So that the elder two told the younger one that the only thing that can help is fresh blood and fresh meat. And then the young one said, oh, if we are to kill another animal and feed them, then is again, engaging in killing. So what are the other options? But I said there's no other options. So anyway, so they went back. On their way back, the young prince, the youngest of the three, so told the two brothers that, you two go ahead, I have something to do, and I will catch up with you. So they left. And then what did the young prince do? He went back. And then went back to this den, and then started offering his blood, and eventually the whole body. So the tigress ate the prince. So when it's already evening, so the prince didn't return. So the king started to ask, and then they told the two other elder brothers told what has happened, and so they doubted, and they went there to that den, and they saw that, the prince has offered his body. So this is just one of, million of such things. So Buddha has done all this for us. So that's why I'm saying that, Shantideva was saying that Buddha have done this. This is one Buddha. Others have done the same. So since they have done all this for us, the only thing we can do is to do that Buddha can be pleased, which is to treat sentient beings well. And when you decide and when you embark on that journey to treat others well, there will be challenges. But when you face such challenges, you have to remember that this is the only way. Buddha has sacrificed so much for us, and no matter how difficult people can be, I will still persevere. I will, here it says, impeccably in all. I will do the best I can. I will do all the good things. That's the better word. I will do the good things, not the bad things. That means no retaliate, not showing anger, not engaging in destructive behavior against them. So even when we start doing this thing, we shouldn't be inflated with pride and ego. Kanjir kutung narme jugbala tela penda lenlen gyurbena tewe deda nujin chena no rishi thagi jejur ni kyangni kanji rangi kulang mesi war tela mongba thagi chedarana ngaje chashing tengi ngwe cha. For those who have become my lords, at times took care not even of their bodies, why should I, a fool, behave with such conceit? Why should I not become the slave of others? So Buddha is like our Lord. If let's say you have a servant and Lord, in ancient times you have this big gap. You are the the Lord, and you have those servants who serve the Lord. So in that sense, Buddha is like our Lord, our boss. But our boss has become a servant of sentient beings. So whom we view or whom we considered as our Lord is or has become a slave or a servant to sentient beings, then who are we? We say that, or our guru is doing this, so why I should be doing that? Or that person is doing that, oh, our leader is doing that, oh, we should do that. Provided leader is a respectable one, yeah. Yeah, if somebody whom you respect as a leader, and if you are a follower, and if that leader bows to that person, then definitely you will also do so. So this is what it is. So since whom we view or consider as our Lord treats or views other sentient being as its Lord, then definitely we have to change that our attitude towards sentient beings. We should be more humble. We should be free of conceit. Why should I not become the slave of others? So we should have this attitude. So when you have this attitude, what will happen is you will lower yourself. This is not like, I cannot do, I'm bad, I'm not good as that person. It's just being humble, humility. So when you have humility, you tend to respect the other person. When you have pride and ego, you think that you are the greatest thing. Then of course, there's nobody to bow to, because everybody is beneath you. So you are up there, everybody is down there. So there is naturally this egoistic arrogance. Because of that, your way of interacting with others will follow suit, and you will treat them in a derogative way, belittled others. So that's what I'm saying. Okay, there's one more. Okay, I think we will stop here and then we will continue next week. Okay, let's.
So we'll say the dedication prayers, beginning with the short mandala offering on page 4, and then concluding prayers on page 6.
Medo Dhamma Dera Lenje Nyende Gyamba De Sanje Shindo Mekde Bewa Ye Dogwen Namda Shenla Jebara Joy Mendala Ganaya Daya Me Rinpoche Maje Bana Je Joro Che Jeba Nyamba Mebara Ya Kone Kondo Bewara Shoy Koze Ralden Je Namgara Jele Jojo Jeba Da Bozan Dembe Dreme Zazom Je Jove Meze Dado Ne Joro Je Korve Shengamazo Pendan Dewa Malu Jongwe Ne Chenre Sewa Tenzin Jazo Ye Shabe Sede Bado Denjoro Je Jedara Gemba Da Kundo Zambo Deyan Dejendo Deda Kungi Jezo Dalo Je Jawan Deda Danje Rado Ngo Yawa Damje Je Ngowa Kala Jodo Ngaban Dage Geve Zawan De Gwenja Sambo Cheche Rado Ngowa Je. Okay, thank you.